So, let's kick things off with the Ground Combat Element, or GCE, for short of the Marine Corps. I think a lot of folks hear that term but don't really know what it covers. Could you give us the big picture?
Absolutely. And it's a lot more than just guys with rifles. The GCE is basically the backbone of the Marine Air-Ground Task Force. It brings together infantry, armor, artillery, combat engineers, and reconnaissance units like a full toolkit for ground warfare, ready to be tailored based on mission needs.
I love that toolkit analogy because it really highlights the flexibility. The GCE isn't just one size fits all, right? Depending on the mission, the makeup changes.
Exactly, and that adaptability is a core part of the Marine Corps' whole warfighting philosophy: maneuver warfare. It's about moving fast, striking hard, staying unpredictable, and using all those different units in concert to put the enemy on the back foot.
That idea of working in concert reminds me, combined arms is such a big deal in Marine doctrine. Could you walk us through what that actually looks like?
For sure. Combined arms basically means using different types of units like infantry, tanks, artillery together so that if the enemy tries to counter one, they expose themselves to another. For example, indirect artillery can pin the enemy down, forcing them into the open, where tanks or infantry can finish the job.
That's like a chess game, where every move forces your opponent into a tighter spot. Do you have any real-world examples where the Marines pulled off something like this?
Actually, during the Gulf War, Marines used artillery raids to draw enemy fire so air units could then swoop in and take out radar positions. It put the enemy in a no-win scenario, stay put and get shelled or expose themselves to air attack.
So, with all these moving parts, what's inside a Marine division? People hear division and probably imagine just a sea of infantry.
That's a common picture, but it's way more dynamic. A Marine division really brings together several regiments and battalions. Think 3 infantry regiments, an artillery regiment, tank and assault amphibian battalions, combat engineers, reconnaissance, and more. Each has its own specialty.
That's a lot of pieces. And when they deploy as part of a Marine Expeditionary Unit or brigade, they get even more task organized, right? I've heard about reinforced companies with all sorts of attachments like light armored vehicles, tanks, and even scout sniper teams.
Exactly, depending on the mission, they can mix and match. So, a MEU might roll out with reinforced infantry, engineers, artillery, and armored assets all working together.
Speaking of all those assets, I'm always amazed by the variety of vehicles and weapons the GCE uses. Sometimes it feels like alphabet soup. What are some standout examples?
One that always stands out to me is the amphibious assault vehicle, the AAV-7A1. It's like a tank that swims, carrying Marines from ship to shore and then inland. Then you've got the LAV-25, which is more nimble and great for recon or fast attacks.
And the firepower doesn't stop there. The M1A1 tank is basically a mobile fortress, and the artillery like the M198 howitzer can reach targets miles away. Not to mention all the machine guns, mortars, and grenade launchers.
Yeah, and each weapon or vehicle brings its own flavor to the fight. The idea is to have the right tool for any situation, whether you're busting through defenses, covering an advance, or digging in to hold the line.
That coordination piece seems huge. How do all these different weapons and units work together in real time, especially when it comes to fire support?
It really is a symphony. The Fire Direction Center is like the conductor tasking artillery units, prioritizing targets, and making sure fires are synchronized with the unit's maneuver plan. They take requests from the field and decide who shoots what, when, and where.
So it's not just everyone fire at will, it's pretty tightly managed. I imagine that keeps things from getting chaotic when you have air, arty, and ground forces all in the mix.
Exactly, and that tight coordination is what lets the Marines punch above their weight. With proper fire support, even a smaller force can hit hard, move fast, and keep the enemy guessing.
One thing I keep circling back to is how the GCE adapts to the battlefield. With all these assets, how do they stay flexible against new threats or unexpected situations?
Honestly, that's one of the GCE's biggest strengths. They're constantly training to swap roles, integrate new tech like thermal sights or wire-guided missiles, and adjust tactics on the fly. The idea is to keep the enemy off balance and never get stuck fighting yesterday's war.
That mindset is so crucial. You can have the best gear in the world, but if you're not adapting, you're toast. I guess that's why the Marine Corps puts such a premium on initiative and leadership at every level.
Totally. Whether it's a squad leader calling for fire support or a division commander retasking battalions, the goal is always to seize the initiative, exploit opportunities, and finish the fight on your own terms.